Alright. Hello. Before we start, we would like to show you a quick video we have made for this presentation. Right. I think we can all agree those hits look like they got knocked down pretty hard, right? Well, not to be a Debbie Downer, but what if that was you up there? If you're a parent, what if that was your child? CTE, also commonly called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a broad term for brain trauma, and it can happen to anybody that plays sports. For those misconceptions, you don't have to be hit in the head to have CTE, because CTE is linked when your brain knocks around the inside of your skull. So if you're knocked off your legs, if you're knocked in the chest, you could still have CTE. A Boston University study showed that 110 out of 111 football players have some form of it. This is the problem we are trying to solve with our product, the CAS sensor. My name is Billy, and I'm the CEO of CAS Sensors.
My name is Alex. I'm the media and web designer.
I'm Kendrick. I'm the media developer.
I'm Luis, and I am the web developer.
I'm Ira Calvin. I'm the online marketer.
And I'm Al Hassan, the secretary.
And now to get into our solutions.
Our solution, the general idea of our solution is to create a cap that goes on your head, but under the helmet. The cap will detect impact and send that information to our app, which is through Bluetooth, and will tell the coaches whether the player would need to be pulled out or not.
So now we're going to go into our MVP and share the results that we got from our MVP timeline. So for our MVP, we had chosen a smoke test MVP, and we were expecting to have a goal of 100 viewers in our website for our MVP timeline, which was from when we started our MVP all the way to May 2nd. And we have successfully got twice of the goal that we were trying to reach. So we got 200 viewers, which shows that people actually are interested in our product and we are doing good in our social media. For our smoke test MVP, we have a homepage that has a lot of call to actions for you to reserve your product, get more information, and also to check our blogs. For our next page, we have our blogs page. Here you can have more information about our products, and we're having weekly updates so that people can be more connected to us and feel more familiarized with our product.
Okay, just as Alex stated before, all information from the sensors is sent to our app. So this is the login for our app. You can of course log in with Facebook, or you can make a CAS Sensor account. Now let's move to the front panels. So we have 4 main panels: players, coaches, teams, and alerts. You also have settings, which allows you to customize the app for yourself. Let's go into players. For the players, it just shows general information on the player, such as their number or their name. It allows parents to easily navigate and find their child. Let's go to coaches. Coaches is just as also pretty much like the players. It's very basic information on the coach. So if a coach is ever changed out, the new one, all they have to do is update the information. Now, this is pretty much the social media of our app. This allows coaches to send updates to their teams. Also, parents can also contact their coaches through this too. And this is the alerts. This is the bread and butter of our app. The information such as if a player is hit really hard, they will be able to see the information here. Such if they need to be pulled out of the game, the colors will change, and it's very easy to understand. Medical staff will be mainly paying attention to this information because, of course, coaches are coaching their team.
And viability is really important for a startup company because you want to make sure that you have actually a huge market to target your product to. So, according to the National Federation State High School Association, there's approximately 1.1 million high school football players and around 1.2 million Pee Wee football players, which brings our TAM in America to around 2.2 million. Now, even though our users will be the players, who we're really trying to target is actually the parents. We want to pull on the heartstrings and the emotions of these parents who are really afraid that their kids might get seriously injured. And with our product, we want to make sure that these parents feel a little bit at ease and a little bit safer and can allow their kids to play the sport that they love. And for our SAM, which is approximately 1.1 million buyers based on assumptions that we have made. And if we multiply that by our price product at $250, we will get an estimation revenue of around $285 million.
So for market share, our goal that we're trying to reach is 5,000 buyers with a conversion rate of 10%. So for our first year goal, we're planning to have around 500 buyers with a growth rate of 20% each year. So for our first year, we're expecting to have a revenue of $125,000. And for our fifth year revenue, we're planning to have a revenue of $260,000. So now I was going to talk to you guys about the marketing and how we have successfully started our business.
Hi, Myra. And so we chose to go with Instagram and Facebook for our social media platforms as they're two of the most well-known social medias out there currently. And so with Instagram, as you can see, we chose a vertical feed organization, which with each row there is a football team. And then in the middle is our information post, which is important updates and the business links and all of our really just meat of our company. And with our insights, you can see that Instagram actually gives very detailed insights, which is the age range, our locations, and the time that our followers are active so that we know exactly when to post our most important updates. And with Facebook, we went really minimalistic with just our logo and then using the Seeds football helmet for our logo as our profile picture. If you were to go visit our Facebook, you can actually see our website link about us and our mission statement. And so we actually aired an ad using Facebook as they gave us a $30 coupon. And so you can see our numbers spiked when this ad aired. And this is because it shows that people are actually interested in what we're doing and our product, but we just have to spend a little bit of money to get our name out there into the public.
And now into our competitors. So we have two major competitors, Roche Sensors and Shockbox. And as you can see from this graph, only Path Sensors is all four criteria. I'm going to explain why. Now, Roche Sensors has impact sensors that when you are hit, it will have a headband that they wear. Now, this headband visibly shows that they are either hit hard or if they can still play. However, because they are headbands and they do not connect to a phone, they are only one-time uses. That means throughout an entire game, for each hit, you would have to take off the headband and replace it with another one. This makes Roche Sensors very disorganized. Now, Shockbox does practically what we do, but they have been on the market for quite a while. This shows that they have some Amazon reviews that showed that they weren't really reliable, and some of the Amazon reviews show that they were actually very brittle. Looking at the actual product, it is a very big black box that goes around the head. It is very uncumbersome to wear, and it looks pretty uncomfortable, actually. Only Path Sensors has a reliable, customizable, user-friendly, and organized product.
This is the cost for our. This is the development cost, which will cost $77.89 for creating the sensor itself, which will include the sensor, the cap, and the Bluetooth that goes with it. Additional costs will be like website maintenance and research and development for our sensors.
So for a startup cost, we are expecting to have a startup cost of $50,000. This will include all the equipment, materials, and licenses and patents that we might need in order for us to start our first stock.
So this is what we're asking from you. We're asking for a $6,000 investment for a 50% return in equity. This will also give you a 20% internal rate of return, and back to you again at two times money multiple.
So for our fifth-year exit plan, we're planning on selling our company to another company that might want to continue with our product and actually have the passion for it and the passion for stuff CTE just like we do, and people that actually care about the future of many other people.
So our plan for the future is to actually improve and create new sensors that are better than the old ones. We want to make sure that when these players retire and when they become 50, 60, or 70 years old, they won't have any sort of issues in developing CTE, and they will be able to remember their kids and their grandchildren's names.
In the end, we are here to solve one problem, that is CTE. This quote says that in 2016, the NFL pledged $100 million in support for independent medical researches, engineering advancements, and neuroscience-related topics. This just proves that NFL and most all sports-related companies are pouring so much money into stopping and preventing CTE. We want to help, because in the end, the only stars you should be seeing is yourself. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Your logo's cool. That's a really neat job. I think that's awesome. Why? I mean, I'm still not quite understanding the business of $250 compared to a $78 sensor. That's a big jump. Why is somebody going to pay $250?
So we decided to come up with this price because we were thinking, if we're selling our products for $77, then we wouldn't really get any profit out of it. So we decided to make it $250 so that if, let's say that your sensor breaks during the game, we could totally replace it and we will still have profit, and it wouldn't really cost you that much to replace your product.
To buy the sensor either online or in a store, the $250 would be the first price because we do plan on having a subscription based. As you see in the app, you would have to have a subscription to the app. So if you were to say $250 would include both the sensors and most likely a 1-year app warranty, so that you could, not warranty, so you could basically use the app. It's much like a subscription based. Such as when you buy a phone, it also gives you a plan. This would practically be the same, which is why we have the price at $250.
Okay, I'm not really sure that, you didn't explain that in this presentation or in the term sheet about the subscription model, about where that revenue would come from, and that's an interesting thought. I'm not sure. If you buy a product, usually you don't have to continue to pay a subscription unless there's some additional value coming in by subscribing to it. It's not really clear to me. But then you mentioned patenting this. What would you be patenting?
We'll be painting more on the logo, the trademark, and also the theme of how we want to create our product. Because there are similar sensors to it, like people are using sensors, but it's just the style that we're doing it using caps and everything. It just hasn't been done, and we want to make sure that this can be just for us and our own product.
There's a very different thing between a trademark, which your cool logo, you can trademark that. But a patent is about some part of your technology. I don't understand what your technology is unique to you. You're buying these sensors or you're manufacturing caps with sensors?
We would be buying these sensors.
The whole cap?
Oh, no, we would be buying parts to create the cap.
And who's going to manufacture the cap? The cap, is the total included it to be $78?
Yes.
That includes the sensors?
The
How many
sensors.
sensors go in a cap?
We have not, I don't think we have decided how many sensors are actually going to the cap as we in our numbers. We still need to do quite a lot of research and development to make sure we know exactly what type of sensors and everything, but we do have a set number. Yes, it is going to cost around $78.
Okay, so you're very precise there. 7789 is very
Yeah.
precision. When you don't know the number of sensors, it sounds a little, it hurts your credibility to put a number so precise and don't really have a plan of how you're going to get there, right? Your MVP, you talked a lot about social marketing, social media, and I think your whole issue is, why is it having a sensor going to keep Johnny from suffering CTE? It'll tell mom that you should stop playing football because you just got a concussion, right? I'm not sure you've got a clear link between showing damage and, stopping to play football, right? There's nothing about your product that's going to actually reduce head trauma, right? It's just going to tell you that you've had it already, correct?
Well, our product is pretty much for prevention. So, for example, if you're playing on the game and we see that you're getting very injured in your head, then we'll be like, you might want to stop, or you could get the possibility of have CTE. So that coaches can actually stop the player from playing maybe on that game and then just make him have a little break, maybe for the next game sort of stuff, so that they can actually be more prepared for the next game and actually don't get CTE. It's more for prevention, more than anything.
Yeah, I think you understand my point though, that just by pointing out that your brain's been damaged, it's a little late, right? I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I like the branding. I like your tagline. I thought that was creative. I am a little bit intrigued by the competitors in the space. Do you know about where your pricing falls in comparison to the competitors that you guys listed?
Yes, so for the Raj sensors, which they were the ones who had the
Headbands.
headbands. Their price range is $25 per headband, and that means that you're gonna have to buy multiple of them in order for you to actually be continuing during the game. So because they're just a one-time use. And for the shock box, they have a pretty close price range that we have. I believe their product is around $230, so ours is just $28 more than their product.
I think that the idea of forming a business around CTE and kind of it's very topical right now, you know, and I think that that's smart. But I do, so, you know, coming from a mom's perspective, if Johnny gets hit in the head and now, you know, this sensor has been used, I most likely am not letting my son play football anymore. You kind of like pulling, so then you don't have it used for your product anymore, like a year over year or later, you know, like more of a one-time purchase. So there's a little bit of nervousness there as far as like from an investor standpoint. But other potential, I know you're targeting here Pee-wee and high school parents. When you get into the high school level, there's also booster clubs that could potentially be buying and paying for your product for the whole team. You could put proposals in front of them to do the whole team. So that could be an advantage. I'd also look into the competitors and see if they have relationships with any collegiate football teams. There's a lot of money in that, as well as obviously you saw the number that the NFL is willing to spend. So I do, see that you're targeting this market segment here, but potentially, if you can show proof that this works, could be some larger contracts there. The other thing that with your app, I do have concern over privacy. If I'm going in, I don't want any other mom being able to see my son. Like it did look when you looked at the student profile that I could see all of the kids potentially on the football team that have this, and that I think you'll run into some minor, under 18 privacy laws there, kind of sharing that information. So to be careful with that, and that there might be some consent that has to be given so that the personal trainers that are there or coaches that they can kind of see that. But yeah, I think that the overall looking to target the parents is probably going to be your best move there with that. So that was
my comments are I liked how throughout the presentation you all emphasize the mission-driven orientation of your company and why you came up with the idea and have worked towards getting it off the ground. And I also, this is the only presentation I can remember seeing digital advertisement. So I thought that was a really cool thing that you guys included from a marketing standpoint. Digital advertisement is like really the way that you reach people nowadays. So to see that you had utilized I think you had mentioned the $30
Facebook coupon.
Yeah, the coupon. I thought that was really cool. And then you saw the benefits from it. You're like, well, our numbers went up. So, in general, as far as the product, I know that this seems like a really complex product to manufacture and to get off the ground. But now more than ever, virtual manufacturing allows products like this to be created when a team identifies a need and can reach out to manufacturers who can bring it to life. So. Yeah, that's the gist of my comment.
And then I have one more. As far as pricing, you might want to look into lowering your price, lower than that second competitor of that $230, and then really looking at that subscription price. I do know models like, for instance, I have a Ring doorbell where I paid $150 for the hardware on my door, but I pay $399 a month to be able to save and look back at those videos. So offering something with you're paying for this hardware on the helmet, but then it's $4 a month for you to be able to see everything, every game, every time it was hit. Kind of view those and have them stored and saved, so they're storing that on a server. That will help you pick back up that additional $40 there, $48 over the 12 months to kind of get you people to buy you initially over the other competitor because you're beating them on pricing, but then make back some of that profit and subscription fee.
Yeah, how does this work? You didn't describe anything about, there's a sensor. What kind of sensor is this and how does this work? And where's the battery and the Bluetooth connection? This all sits in your cap?
Yes.
What kind of a sensor is this?
We were looking at impact sensors as is implied in the name. They detect how much impact it actually would be put onto the cap. We do still need to have a lot of research and development in order to of a set answer for that question.
Because there are piezoelectric sensors that look at force. There's accelerometers that look at acceleration, right? Have you looked at any of this to come up with how you plan to, what kind of sensor you're imagining?
We have not. The only sensors that we have looked at were impact sensors.
So piezoelectric sensors. And yeah, I think you need a whole lot. I mean, you're basically trying to come up with a technology business. You need to spend a lot of effort trying to figure out this technology question, and whether it's something you can actually invent and patent. Because you mentioned research, create new sensors.
Yeah, we want
There's sensor. I don't. If you look on the internet about sensors, you'll find a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't see really any financials for your company. You have a revenue stream, but I don't know anything about. You said startup costs, which had some fees, but to go to an investor with a deck like this, you really should have some financials saying, hey, this is what we're going to be spending on research. This is what the costs we're anticipating for the product. What our revenue is going to be selling this product. These are our fixed costs. A financial model for your business up to year 5 is really essential.
Good job, guys.